Every good wargaming table needs some scatter terrain. What's better than some quick and easy palettes for your miniatures to hide behind? It gives your table some more detail and a dash of realism. Justin here. I wanted to show you this quick and easy way to make miniature palettes for your wargaming table. This build was inspired by the Cult of Crafting. I'm going to link their video down below in the description. Check them out. They had a few different ways of building palettes. This is one way that I really like doing it, and I saw that he was doing it too. So let's check it out. This is what you'll need. Aleene's tacky glue, coffee stir sticks, sandpaper. These wire cutters or any kind of cutting tool will work. An ice pick, something to measure with, preferably a pencil so you can make marks on what you need to cut. To start off, we'll glue some stir sticks together. In this case, we will glue 3 sets of 2 sticks because we'll be making 2 pallets in this example here. As you can see, I lay down a bead of glue, and then what I'll do is just hold the 2 sticks together with some pressure, just to make sure you got some good bonding going on. Once they're glued together, we'll set these stir sticks aside to dry and bond. As these sticks are drying, we will cut all the planks to size. I use 9 5-centimeter length pieces for each pallet. If you want spacing to be much closer, you can cut more. As you can see, I measure out 5 centimeters. I use my cutting mat to measure out my spacing for each one. As you can see, I'm using wire cutters to cut these. It makes it really quick, but it does crimp the edges. So what you'll have to do to kind of correct that is I use a sanding block with 80 grit sandpaper, and I go ahead and sand down each piece just to ensure that they're nice and square and that those pinched off edges really aren't so noticeable. This also just kind of helps clean up the edges of these. One of the cool things I was able to use for this project was a cutting tool that has a razor blade on it. That was passed down to me from my dad, who did a lot of custom wood models and stuff like that. So it's really cool to be able to use this for this project. It made really quick work of this. After I cut out all the smaller planks, I measured out on the glued pieces 6 centimeters and went ahead and used my cutting tool to cut that. I had to turn it a few times to cut it because of course it's a little thick, but made real quick work of cutting all of the bigger planks to get them ready to be glued together. Now it's time to assemble the pallets. I've got 2 sets of the wood set aside, so I'm going to go ahead and set aside one for the second pallet, and we'll go ahead and assemble the first. What we'll need is 2 of the 5 centimeter planks. I'm going to lay down 3 little beads of glue on each one of these 5 centimeter planks, 1 little dot on the outside and 1 on the center. And then that way we can take the 6 centimeter glued together pieces and lay them across the 2 5 centimeter pieces as you're seeing here. Like I said, laying down the beads of glue, and then we'll go ahead and lay the double thickness 6 centimeter pieces across, all 3 of them for this portion. Again, I use my cutting mat to help line up gluing the pieces because it does get a little wonky as you're trying to do this. I did it on a blank table when I did the first one, and it kind of made it a little crooked, but it's fine. They don't have to be perfect. Now, if you're putting the glue down from straight out of the bottle, you're gonna have some glue that squeezes out as you set it down. You'll want to clean this up because when you go to add a wash to this, the glue will keep the wash from adhering to the wood. So I just take an extra stir stick and wipe away the glue that kind of pushes out. You can also use your finger, you can use a paintbrush. Just try to keep it nice and cleaned up. Here I'm laying another bead of glue down, and I'm going to start placing the 5cm planks across the top. I'm going to do the 2 on the outsides first, and then I'm going to go in and add the 1 in the center and then fill it in from there. And sometimes the wood is a little bit warped. These are cheap pieces of wood, so I had to take off this one and flip it over just to make it fit a little bit snug, just to make it fit a little bit better. Once everything is dry, I use my pointed tool to put in markings where the nails would be in the wood to give it just that extra layer of detail to add that realism. And the nice thing is when we go over it with the wash will settle in those little holes that we're puncturing and really give it that illusion of nail holes. You can add some wash to the boards to give it another layer of detail and weather them to match your table. I'm doing a mostly brown wash that gives just the right amount of grime from my table. I'm adding a little bit of black to start, just as kind of like a base for my wash. And then I'm going to go in and add a chocolate brown, and it's just straight water, nothing fancy. I'm going to add that in, mix it around, and then I'm just going to go ahead and apply it all over all the palettes. It's not going to go on very thick, but I don't want this to necessarily color the wood. I just want it to add just a little bit extra to it and fill in those little nail holes. It wasn't brown enough, so I made sure to add a little bit extra brown just to get the color right. I threw some down on the board just to test, make sure it was the right color. Looks good, but I'm going to go ahead and weather all the pieces. You can't go wrong at this stage. I just slather it on there. It dries pretty quickly. My garage is over 90 degrees as I'm filming this, so it's drying really quick. There you have it, some miniature palettes ready to use for your next wargaming adventure. In a later video, I'll go through some items you can add to these palettes to give it a little bit more life and usability as scattered terrain. Thanks again for watching. If you're interested in seeing more terrain videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button That lets me know that you'd like to see more videos like this, and I'll go ahead and start working on that right away. Thanks again, and remember, the art is in the journey.